Hey guys, thanks again for all your support of the Shemanese. Today in this video, what I want to do is go over some of the carrying options and show you how you're going to use some of the things that you're going to be getting when you get your fantastic blade. So almost standard in every one of the knives that LT Wright sells are these JRE Industries leather sheaths. I met the owner of the company at Blade Show this year, and this is him and his wife for small business. They make a bunch of sheaths for a bunch of different companies, but LT Wright's one of them. And it is a really fantastic sheath. They are put on a machine. They're not hand sewn. They have good rivets on all the stress points for the sheath itself. They have a spacer that helps protect the blade and the sheath itself as you're placing the blade in and out. And these leather sheaths also come with a ferro rod loop. Now your knife's not going to come with a ferro rod obviously, but it comes with a loop that you can use a ferro serum rod with rather easily. So that is the sheath itself. Now here's some things you need to note. Now this particular knife is prototype 1, just keep that in mind. The handle's a lot thinner than the one that you've ordered. It was one of the things that came out of all the study of putting it in the hands of everybody. This is too loose in this sheath, okay? So there's a couple things. Number one, the knife you're going to have is going to be thicker. It already fits in the leather sheath much better. The other thing is you can wet form a knife when you get your sheath. So what you can do is soak this in incredibly hot water. It doesn't have to be boiling or anything like that. And then place your knife in it and form something right at the stop points. So usually that means some sort of large binder clip or something of that nature. You can put one right here, you can put one right here, so that when this knife goes in, it binds to the sheath, and then just let it dry in there. Don't take it in and out, just let it dry in there, and that'll help bind this sheath to this knife even better when you get it. Secondly, this knife has two options for you to carry. You can either leave this dangler on, and typically what most people use this for is they hang this off their belt, and this hangs down on their leg more, and they utilize these points to tie off to the leg or not tie off to the leg. Okay, now you might say that seems a little weird, but that's really useful if you're wearing a backpack and you want to still carry your knife, because it hangs down below the waist belt that is going to be on your backpack. Now for others, if you just want the belt loop sheath, then what you can do is you can unscrew this dangler, and you don't have to have that on there at all, and you have just a regular sheath just like this. And so that's the leather sheath. Let's take a look at the Kydex. All right, so as far as the Kydex, again, keep in mind, this Kydex sheath right here was made and designed for prototype 2, and this is prototype 1. So this movement right here, you're not going to experience in your sheath. So that's one of the reasons we wanted to get it available for those that are ordering a Kydex sheath, to go ahead and get it right at the get-go, because they will actually make a sheath for your specific knife. And so these are handcrafted knives, so there's going to be slight little tiny differences in them. They have incredibly good tolerances at LT Wright, but because they're going to be making close to 70 of these knives now, then there's going to be some slight differences, very slight differences. So they're going to form a sheath just for your knife, which is cool if you order one of the Kydex. Now, here's some things that you need to know about the Kydex. Is it comes with this stopper bolt. It has two rubberized stoppers on it, so that here, if I shook this hard enough, this would fall out. But even on this blade that's loose in here, when I slide that down, it makes it a little bit tighter in there. When you get a knife that's made for the sheath, you won't hear any rattle in there at all. That is all rattling of the knife. That won't happen at all when you get yours, okay? So here's what I was thinking with this Kydex sheath, and I wanted to provide you all with options, okay? So there doesn't come any way that you can attach this to your belt when you get it the way you're going to get it, okay? I just thought there was way too many options and so many different ways that people were going to carry this knife in a Kydex sheath, and I wanted to just leave it open for you to decide, okay, purposely. So here's 3 that I bought just to show you some options. I'll tell you what, LT Wright is going to get this sheath in the next week, and they're actually going to make one of these too and see what the price difference is. I've got these 3 from Armitage Carry, and I'll have a link for that in the description of this knife. These 2 are the same. The coyote brown and the black are basically just straps, okay? This is called their Ulti Clip. All 3 of these are made by Armitage. These are just here to show you the two different color options they offer, whether you want black or whether you want this coyote dark brown. But what this is, and we'll get up real close, but these buttons have Phillips head screws in them, so you can take that off rather easily, screw it into the holes of the Kydex sheath, and then you have what I considered the best way to carry the knife with just one of these, which is appendix carry on the left with one strap to secure it. And the reason I want it like that is I wanted to be able to pull the blade out in front of me and have it here to be able to get to work. The other thought for me is that I wanted to be able to take my sheath on and off. So here's the blade, prototype 1, that does have the actual inch marks on it that I did not put on the final design. But what I think I'm going to do is just encourage people, if you want to do something like that, to mark up your Kydex sheath with inch marks, and that way you have a measuring tool if you want to lay it down next to tracks to measure tracks, if you want to put it down next to a plan and measure a plan, or whatever it is that you want to do with it. You can take it on and off with these straps rather easily, because all they do is snap and then you're good to go. Now this Ulti clip is a little different. This clip is what I'm seeing a lot of my Filipino martial arts knife fighting friends and trainers doing. So basically what you have is you have a spring-loaded clip here more than anything. You slide this down into your pocket and then you clip it, which makes this secure down in your pocket if you wanted to, so that when you draw out, you draw out a knife to fight with it, and at the same time it's very secure in your pocket. And this piece of equipment here, the way it's designed, it doesn't tear up your pants or anything like that. And again, LT Wright's going to make one of these straps. I think these are about $10, and this little guy's about $20. So those are some options for you. You can make your own, and it wouldn't be hard at all to make your own. I carried this for 2 classes, and all I had was paracord wrapped around and secured in the holes, and I utilized that as a belt carry system and just stuck my belt through the paracord and held it on in that manner, and it worked exceptionally well. So you can go as expensive or as cheap as you want to make this work effectively. So that's it for the carrying options for the Shemanese. If something else comes up and we see another option, we'll make sure we let everybody know, and we appreciate you. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time on another video. And now that I have a prototype back in my hand, we're going to start showing you to do some things with the blade itself. So come on, join in. Let's learn together.